What is going on? What's up, everybody? How are we doing? Rainy day, a lot of rain. What's happening, everybody, man? Some baseball going on now, but we waiting for football to get popping. Shout out to Sal Murano over there, 321Westerly. We're going to talk about that. I sat down with him yesterday over at the pantry. I think that's one of 321Westerly's sponsors, but we're going to talk to I talked about all types of things over there with Sal. We talked about NILs, the transfer portal, which a lot of people are so clueless as to that transfer portal. But what is good? Check out some of them games yesterday. What did y'all think of them baseball games? You just screw that. We waiting for football. Please share the stream. You want to be a sponsor. Speaking of the sponsors, man, shout out to Najee Barros with his East Coast Football Factory. Definitely reach out to him over there on Facebook, social media platforms. If I look a little tired, I think I've been up since Friday sometime, working. You gotta work non-stop to pay these bills. Everything's so damn expensive. But you gotta work, man. The Cato rule, man. Disclaimer: the information or opinions expressed on Can We Keep It Real podcast are solely the views of the individual that's speaking. I'm right, involved, and don't represent any third party, any advertiser, anybody that might be on the show. It's about getting kids recruited, right? It's about sending kids on to play at the next level. Emerson Kilgore once told me playing at any level after high school is a success. And if you're looking to buy a home, you definitely got to give Home Smart Professionals an opportunity, man. Give Kathy a call. Tell her that Mikey sent you. In Massachusetts, Rhode Island, take care of all of your home buying needs. But we're going to talk about it, man. I want to talk a little bit about Sal Murano, 321Westerly, what we talked about yesterday. Shout out to the producer over there. He did a very good job.
Are you dreaming of the perfect home? Your dream home doesn't have to be just a dream. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kathy Foisey from HomeSmart Professionals Real Estate is here to make it a reality. Expertise in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, Kathy is ready to guide you every step of the way. Reach out today at 401-486-6587 or email kfoisey1@gmail.com.
Ready to dominate the field? Join Beast Coast Football Factory. Led by top coach Najee Barros, we elevate your game at all levels, where we offer expert training, unique techniques and drills, affordable rates, $25 per session, $40 for two. Don't miss your chance to work with the best. Contact Beast Coast Football Factory today to schedule your session and level up your game. Beast Coast Football Factory is a proud sponsor of Can We Keep It Real podcast.
Well, you already know Coach Najee holding it down over there. And many people know, I always represented Onlyville, New York system, all my people down there. Greg, all the way down. Greg sold the place, a lot of people being tough on Greg, but, he's 65. I'm going to be like his father. His father was here, he passed away. A long time, but congratulations to Greg, but definitely get down there.
Hey Adam, how you been? This is Bobby Peugeot from Providence, Rhode Island. I'm at a legendary place, Onlyville, New York system in Providence, Rhode Island. It's established in 1946. 4 generations of the Stevens family have been running this place with a secret recipe for the wieners, unlike anywhere else in the world. Rhode Island is known for a couple of great things, being huge Sox and Yankees fans, the beaches of Narragansett and Newport, and the food. Providence is world renowned for restaurants. But when it comes to lunch to late night, everybody comes to Louisville, New York system for one thing, the wieners. It's a secret recipe passed down for 4 generations of the Stevens family. Steamed bun wrapped around the wiener with a secret meat sauce, grand mustard, fresh onions, celery salt. Guys come in late night, order 2, 3 all the way. This is how I like them, all the way, perfect, with a coffee milk. Also, vintage Rhode Island, so nowhere else in the country. I challenge you, Adam, to come here and break the record. 14 wieners in 45 minutes is the record. I don't know if you got it in you to come down here and take us on, but if you can eat more than 14 in 45 minutes,
I think the record's a little more than 14 now, but shout out to Louisville, New York system. You know, I can actually go for a couple, right? But yo, what is going on? You know, I was over there with Sal Murano, over at 321 Westerly over there at the pantry. You know, nice little setup. You know, they have going on. Let me pull up my notes. Yeah, Sal, man, what a great guy, man. But having the pleasure to sit down with Sal. You know, 321 Westerly is an online media platform that focuses on the vibrant community of Westerly, Rhode Island. But our conversation, you know, we got right into the world of high school football, the impact of the transfer portal, you know, real good conversation. The dynamics of Bulldog football, right? The ongoing struggle between public and private schools. And that is real. That is real. We see it all the time. We see that these, let me get this music turned down. We see the competition level with Bishop Hendricken, you know, LaSalle, you know, St. Ray's is starting to do their thing, you know, and we see kids, you know, hardened kids, you know, a lot of things we see, you know, and it just becomes clear that high school football is more than just a game, right? It's a community, you know, these communities love their high school football programs, and to see every year the same 2 teams, you know, making it to the Super Bowl. Basketball, I think it was LaSalle again, you know, and then, you know, football, Keithroff has 19 championships, 19 trophies, you know, so we just talked about, you know, the community, you know, and how some of these programs definitely shape the lives of some of these young football players, you know, but the conversation, it definitely ended up turning the page. We talked about the transfer portal, because I think one of the most important, one of the most pressing issues right now is the transfer portal with high school football players. And I think the problem is with that transfer portal, kids are not really gonna have a chance to get to high school. Only the best of the best is gonna really have that opportunity to be able to get to college. And kids are gonna have to go to prep school. You know, they're gonna have to go to maybe JUCO. And where's the nearest JUCO? Down south. You know, we have more kids doing their NILs now. NILs are starting to pop up, and people that don't know what an NIL is, and we talked about this over on 321 Westerly with Sal also. You know, basically they pay you for your name, image, and likeness. Not a bad deal, but now it's trickling down into the high school levels. How about it, man? You know, you want your kid to get paid? You know, there's ways where you can get paid. Nelson Martinez now just got a nice NIL deal to go over and play at Wyoming Seminary Prep School. I think that's over in Philadelphia. You got a couple kids from Hendricken that are going to prep programs. So the future of high school football and the impact of NIL deals, the transfer portal. I mean, again, man, welcome to another Can We Keep It Real podcast. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk a little bit about the what the transfer portal is, what it's about. I mean, I think, I think we could talk a lot about things like that. I've been studying. I definitely been studying, man. But Sal and I reflected on how this system, often benefits those, with resources and allowing these athletes to jump to prestigious programs. When you go into these private programs. I know I got off track with the transfer portal a little bit, but with the RIL definitely needs to do something with the rule about the private schools and the public schools. You got kids coming from out of state jumping right on a program, and I mean, come on, it's always the same two programs. You had teams competing last season, but teams in D1, I mean, Central always plays Bishop Hendricken well. And let me tell you, don't sleep on Central, because this year coming up, I think is going to be one of Central's better years since going right around the time when Mike Washington took over the Central Knights. I think this team coming up is probably going to be better than that team was. That was this season, like right when Mike took over the Central Knights. But Sal and I talked about, how LaSalle, Hendricken, being in a system like that benefits those because they have resources. They can allow these players to jump to more prestigious programs. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing kids go from Hendricken and they go into prep schools now. Because listen, Hendricken alone isn't getting kids into college. This trend right here, I mean, this is really hurting the public school teams that they work their ass off to develop these players, right? Have a strong sense of community, but then you have some of these privates that just come in and they just entice them away. How would you like to play for us? Can't afford it. Well, we can give you a scholarship. We can take care of that. And I'm sure that's what these programs are doing. They're gonna say no. I seen an email last week from inside the Pawtucket Catholic School Department, and it's basically congratulating 8th graders for getting to, be able to go to St. Ray's, be able to go to these private schools. And one particular student, it goes on to say, and congratulations to, I'm not going to say the player's name, but congratulations to player X for your 4-year scholarship to Bishop Hendricken. I got the email. So right there, I mean, so they definitely are giving scholarships up. But some of these kids, have to stay in the public schools. They have to work through their challenges, at their home school. And it's just tough for these programs to keep kids coming in and year out. Welcome, everybody. If you're just joining us, man, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Hit the like button, share the podcast, man. But I'm talking about yesterday when I was sitting down with Sal Murano over there at formerly of WBLQ, now over there with 321 Westerly. And from what I see, I think 321 Westerly is doing a great job. They stream a lot of the football games for Jamie. You could also, I don't know if you could still catch it on NFHS, but you used to. But yeah, we was talking about the Bulldogs, and and I was telling Sal, we just had to talk about the pride that comes with the Bulldog football community, because this is one of them communities where there's a rich tradition tied to this team. Another community like that is Barros Broncos. Some of these communities are their football program. You cry, they cry. You're happy, they're happy. They can feel the energy coming off that field. When Dwayne Miranda said it, Stanley Dunbar said it. Stanley said this was his dream job. Friday Night Lights up in Westerly, the crowd roaring. Dwayne Miranda said driving up Granite Street, you see the lights, you see the scoreboard, you see the kids. He said the energy is just magnetic. And two guys that said this is my dream job, but they didn't stick around long. So enough about that. But as me and Sal was discussing the playing field, I mean, they're not always. I actually got to shut that music off before the copyright strike me. Oops. There we go. Yeah, so as we were talking about how the playing field between public and private school isn't always level, especially when competing with these private schools that attract talent, that just have greater resources. Public schools don't have as much funding, their facilities, they don't have as many recruiters coming in. I mean, public schools really find themselves at a disadvantage, struggling to compete for the top talent in the state because they have to play with kids that live inside their district, and the private schools do not. Public schools have to maintain a strong program. Private schools really, they do not. When will it ever be fair? So as our conversation started basically winding down, we definitely agreed on the need for a reevaluation of the rules that govern high school football. The realignment, 6 years is just way too much. There got to be a way to create a more equitable environment for every school in Rhode Island. Every school. We have to make a better way, regardless of the status, as if it's public, if it's private, right? We should all, RAIL always talks about we got to keep it fair. We got to keep it fair. Well, how is this fair for the public schools? How is this fair for public schools that every time it comes up, all right, yeah, oh, well, they have pathways, you're going to say, yeah, but they can't use pathways. You can't go up to a parent and say, would you like to come to Pilgrim? We could put your son in the pathways program and that he'll be eligible for football. They can't do that. So how do we create a balance? How do we create so Rhode Island can become one hell of a football state? I figured we would get somebody to say, you know what, let's make this great sports program and offer great academics at the same time, but we can't get on the same page. So while discussing all this with Sal, it became clear that the future of high school football and sports in general depends how we address these equities. We got to advocate for the change. We got to speak up for the community, but the community also has to speak up and support and be open to dialogues, ways to step forward, creating a fair system for all of the players in Rhode Island. But shout out to Sal Murano. Our conversation was just a reminder and the passion that fuels high school sports and the challenges that really need to be addressed. As we move forward, right, it's vital that we have to continue all of these discussions to make the sports better, promote fairness amongst the players, ensure that every young football player has a chance to shine and has a chance to win. Right now, it's getting tougher and tougher inside the transfer portal. It's getting tougher and tougher to, some kids, man, they don't even have a plan. They don't even have a plan when they're coming out for this transfer portal. So what is the future of public high school football? What's the impact of NIL deals? What's the impact of the transfer portal? Now we get the NIL deals. I mean, not many people understand NIL deals. Not only allowing college athletes to profit from their name, image, and likeness, now allowing high school kids to profit from their name, image, and likeness. It's going to allow these students to move between schools with relative ease, right? In search of better opportunities. But how does this affect the integrity of high school football programs today? Is this going to create another scenario where players are going to prioritize individual gain over the team loyalty, development? Is it going to shift the focus from building a strong team culture to personal branding? Is it just going to be personal growth? And if not, you're going to be like, yo, I'm out of here. I'm beating feet. Team dynamics. In high school sports, team dynamics is very, very vital. Building relationships, building team chemistry. It's crucial for the success. How do you think NILs and the transfer portal affect that? When these players are more focused, right, on individual recognition, the potential for the NIL deals, they got to make their, have so many catches, have so many this. When they see that, we might just see a decline in teamwork, a decline in collaboration. Players are going to be more likely to leave when they feel they're not getting enough attention. I could just go put my behind in the transfer portal. And this could lead to instability inside the program, right? Coaches, they could struggle to maintain consistent rosters, making it challenging to develop anything, making it challenging to develop long-term strategies to foster a sense of belonging to the players. How much pressure is going to be on high school athletes? How much pressure is it going to put on these players with the prospect of the NIL deals? The expectation for these young players to perform. Then they got to market themselves before they're even ready to market themselves. And that's why I'm saying we can't be raising boys. We can't be worried about, oh, I gave them the night off. They went trick-or-treating. They went trick-or-whatting. Get them trick-or-treating kids over here. Let's go. You got 4 years to turn these kids to men. 4 years to make them into great college football players so they can make it when they get to that level. And at one point, they're competing amongst each other, definitely unhealthy. They should be supporting each other, but no, their gain is someone's, somebody drops down, they stop up because individual gains here with this situation. Introducing, financial incentives, that's going to complicate motivation as well. Some guys are going to have, bonuses, things that they have to get to. These are all problems with the transfer portal, all problems with the NIL. And I'm telling you, it's going to show you unhealthy competition sooner or later. Instead of supporting each other, they'll be competing against each other. So how are we going to find a balance? What can be done? What could be done to figure this out? What could be done to navigate it? How are we going to navigate these challenges, right? How are we going to ensure? First, we got to get these kids there. In the last 2 years, no cap, some of the best athletes in the state. And I'm telling you, this is the God's honest truth. Some of the best athletes in this state are non-qualifiers. Don't tell anybody. They don't qualify for college. Some of the best athletes in the state don't qualify for college. I'm going to cut this short soon because, it's been, everyone knows I work nice, long hours, gotta do what you gotta do. And, but not for nothing. You see these kids, like I just said, some of the best athletes in the state are non-qualifiers, right? But you know what? The schools could focus a little bit more on the education, teaching these players about things that just teach them how to read and write. Like let's do that. Teach them how to read and write then we'll teach them how to tie their damn shoes. Coaches, administrators, you guys, the value of commitment, that's what you should be pushing to these kids. The value of hard work, the value community over quick fame. And that's what the NIL deals that's what they are going to do. the NIL deals, and the transfer portal. Yes, exciting, great opportunities, right? But they also bring challenges. Challenges that can undermine the foundation of your high school football program. So everybody involved in this, parents, coaches, athletic directors, everybody down to the players themselves, you got to have the conversation about maintaining integrity of high school football. You heard me. Maintain the damn integrity of high school football. Can we do that? Appreciate everybody. You know, you want to be a guest on the show, reach out to me. You know, can we keep it real 40@gmail.com. Shout out to the great sponsors, Home Smarts Professionals. Shout out.
Are you dreaming of the perfect home? Your dream home doesn't have to be just a dream. Whether you're looking to buy or sell, Kathy Foisey from HomeSmart Professionals Real Estate is here to make it a reality. Expertise in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, Kathy is ready to guide you every step of the way. Reach out today at 401-486-6587 or email kfoisey1@gmail.com.
Throughout the football season, every Friday night, we bring you exclusive sideline access and post-game interviews. We go straight to the head coaches, asking tough questions live with no edits. Just real, honest conversations.
We're now seeking sponsorships for our platform. Both businesses and individuals can support us through booster ads, helping to amplify our reach and impact. Your support means the world to us, and together we can continue to provide the coverage our community deserves.
We're reaching out for your help. Any small donations, even as little as the cost of a cup of coffee, can make a huge difference in keeping our platform alive and thriving. Can We Keep It Real podcast is brought to you by Beast Coast Football Factory and HomeSmart Professionals. Please consider joining our team today.
Yeah. Let's go.
Ready to dominate the field? Join Beast Coast Football Factory. Led by top coach Najee Barros, we elevate your game at all levels. What we offer: expert training, unique techniques and drills, affordable rates, $25 per session, $40 for two. Don't miss your chance to work with the best. Contact Beast Coast Football Factory today to schedule your session and level up your game. Beast Coast Football Factory is a proud sponsor of Can We Keep It Real podcast.
Yeah, so shout out to them. Time for me to get some sleep. Appreciate everybody. You know, you want to be a sponsor, you want to be part of the show, let me know. Yeah, man, some great things going on. Kids going to prep, baseball here. You know, getting ready for football very soon. Guys are in the gym. You know, but big shout out to everybody holding it down. And shout out to my son. How can I go without saying what's up to my son? Remember when he tried to destroy me?
Listen, no one's going to give you more coverage. No one's going to be at more games. No one's going to be more informed. I'm not just some guy sitting in his basement spouting off about who's winning games and who's doing what. We're real. The rebellion is real. Providence Journal coverage is going to be real this year. It's almost here. 3 days away.
Yeah, 3 days away. That's my son. Such a clown. But we are out of here. Appreciate everybody. Big shout out to the sponsors, and he's out of here.
That's the bad guy. Bad guy. Bad guy. That's the bad guy. The bad guy. The bad guy. Commission. The bad guy.
We don't do no talking, we know what they do for the views. If I took a loss, no